We're back in Historic here. We're running the Saheeli Kitten, and I'm not going to do a deck tech on this video because this list got scrapped. I went to the ground up and built it from nothing. So I'll talk you through the gameplay here, but I went very light on creatures. But you'll see here, we got a good 7, so we start with a Triome. Opponent starts with a Forest, so we'll go straight into a Voice of Resurgence. Opponent plays, so they seem to be a Gruul Ramp deck, so I decided to just run out threats here before they drop their big creatures. They go up to the front and play a Balanced One Ring. We're in Historic, so this does require 1 mana to activate. So since we're not going to get any value here, I'm just going to drop as many lands as possible. Hold up removal with the Vanishing Verses for anything that they might do on their turn. They ramp like a crazy person, and I have no idea what's going on, so we're just going to swing in here. They take the damage. They clearly want an insane amount of mana, so we'll put Jegantha to hand. We've just got to speed up the clock here. They escape to the wilds, find another One Ring, and they find Haphazard Bombardment. So now that it's been revealed, I'll tell you, this is a Ponza list they were playing. We get Displace the Kitten, but with no value, we'll just pass and play Jegantha. So this is a Ponza list, but it appears that they went really heavy into the Ponza side and didn't really have many win conditions. Like, I've played Ponza in the past on MTGO many years ago, but the main value of this obviously is blow up their lands, force your opponent to stumble, then deploy a threat. We get Star Extinction there, we get our 2 Voice of Resurgence here. They pass and go to us. I'm going to use Assemble the Team here, and I find a Saheeli, and I'm taking the Saheeli for one reason here. With Saheeli here, this is actually lethal, so we use Saheeli, copy the Voice Resurgence token. That's 9 damage from the pump, and they're going to take a minimum of 2 off their One Ring, so they'll pass from there. The reason I said there's no deck list on this list, I'll put, you can see it all here, the basic core of the deck, is, as you can see, I went very hard into a more spell-based creature combo and didn't have that many threats. I'm going to again go back and rework it. The next video I will have it, and it will be more like the old 4-color Saheeli deck in Modern, where we just leverage more creatures and value that way. Like I said, having Saheeli in the deck is great because we can use it to copy nibs or other triggers if we need them, but we ultimately need to just make sure that we got to make sure that we have other threats to deploy. In a lot of the testing here, I went up against plenty of decks where I literally threw down a Saheeli and didn't draw a creature for like 5 turns, so she literally did nothing but uptick and ping. So our opponent's super ramping here. I'm just going to deploy a Saheeli, get it started here. We'll put that to the bottom, pass back. They have a Haphazard. I do not have my Vanishing Verse. We lose one of our lands, so I'm just going to concede here because, well, we could have kept going here, but basically this is what they're going for. So I here realize that they are really just ramping to that finisher. So I take out a few of the smaller removals and counters. I don't have counter spells is another reason why when I came to look at this deck in post. And we have to mulligan to Oblivion. We go down to 5 here. Now, funny thing here, I get rid of everything, hold on to Quicksilver, because if we can get the, if we can conjure the Mox, we can then use that with Teferi to go infinite that way. But first thing I want to do here is deploy Clothis, because, okay, there's a pause here, because this is me literally searching, does Haphazard Bombardment force you to sack, or is it destroy? So right now we've got an unresolvable thing here. Fortunately though, we get pretty lucky. We've got to use the Assemble the Team here. I'd like to grab something else, but I'm going to have to Vanishing Verse the Elder Gargaroth. So they are running threats. They throw down the One Ring here. They get protection and draw a card. I'm just going to vanish. It's not a May with Clothis, so I'm just going to have to vanish something. I'm going to Assemble the Team again for a land. Honestly, one of the saddest ones I've done in a while. I'm going to put Jegantha into hand here. We're just going to keep deploying threats here because if they want to blow up individual lands, that's fine. If I can just resolve a Jegantha, I'll have mana for days. Right, so we get Assassin's Trophy and Slaughter Games here. They draw cards with the One Ring. Pass. I consider what to do here, and I decide to block because it's free damage for them if I don't, because it has Vigilance and Reach, so it's going to block Niv either way here. They throw down Llanowar Elf after Llanowar Elf and ramp spells. We'll get rid of the Elgagroth here. I'm considering my options of what to play here. I could Slaughter Games Haphazard Bombardment, but you know what, I'm just going to plus on a Saheeli here, and we'll just start scrying. Again, we are one Displacer Kitten away from here from going off. Also though, I completely misplayed because I didn't realise that I only had one blue source. Opponent is drawing an insane amount of cards here. They play another One Ring to gain protection. They play Haphazard Bombardment, so we'll let them choose, then we'll just Assassin's Trophy it. In fact, we'll give them the saddest Haphazard Bombardment because they have to pick the targets even though there's no bombardment on the field. They play another Utopia Spawn, maybe another Llanowar Elf. But we got a fast clock here with 3 damage guaranteed. We're going to just exile the One Ring for the hell of it in case they have artifact rebuy. And funnily enough, I learn as well the damage of Slaughter Games here. Protection from everything means obviously I can't use Slaughter Games on them. So let's use Quicksilver here to get a Conjured Mox. We'll just plus again, scry away a land. We have 4 mana here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold back. I'm going to use Lightning Helix. Because Lightning Helix, so basically between this we've got 6 damage in our hands here. Which should be enough to just take them out. So they do have some finishers. They have Awaken the Trolls, which on their 3rd chapter would make them a ton of 4/4s, which is a pretty good finish for them. I got no reason to block here with Saheeli. They play another One Ring, and another Mindstone, and another Llanowar Elf. I'm going to get rid of a land here. Thank you for the ramp, opponent. Play out a Gigantha. Plus Saheeli again. We find another Helix here, and that's game. The only thing that saves him here, yeah, we just cast the Mox here for no value for the sake of just flexing. They fully out, play another Troll, blow up another land here. Doesn't do nothing. Play another Waking the Trolls, blow up another land. I'm giving him a premature GG and giving him an Oko Kiss. For funsies. They think they're okay here. They think they've got another turn. But we're just going to surprise them now and fire it off and give them another Oko Kiss. You can't expect anything else if you're playing land destruction. We're going to troll you back. Right. We now have a 100 card pile. And I kept this one in because I'm still running into these games in casual. Like, casual is the craziest wild ground right now. I might just make pure ranked content for fun. Since, like, nothing really matters. They play a Venser, so we'll run out a Helix because I don't want a poison counter because they could be a proliferate deck here. We find another Saheeli, so what I'm going to do is just play a tap land. Pass back. We are 1 card away from the combo here. They have a Torment of Scarabs. Interesting. So I will just choose to decline here because we've got 20 life. They're not pressuring my board in any way. Let's run out a... Well, while they're tapped out and they've got no response, let's throw out a Saheeli and get to scrying. Teferi's good actually because between that and the Quicksilver, if we find... Yeah, it gives us another line if we run out of time here. Take another 3 here. We'll use Teferi. We'll just bounce the Robber and scry again with Saheeli. Should have done that backwards. Misplay there by me. Opponent plays a Robber. I choose discard a card and we get rid of Growth Spiral. Gonna shock in here. Plus Teferi to give everything flash, and then we'll scry with Saheeli. I'm going to play the Voice of Resurgence here, and then I'm going to play the Quicksilver Lapidary. and then we'll pass back. I'm deploying it early here because if they do have a way to get rid of it, it's not really a killer for us. They do have a go for the throat, and it's very interesting they go for that. I'm thinking it's either pure alchemy hate, or they know about a synergy between this and what's on my field. But at the same time, they then attack us instead of putting pressure on the Teferi, which is weird. I'm going to decline. I don't have black and white separate here, so I'm going to have to go for the assemble the team. The displacer kitten on top of the deck, so I'm just going to take it. I'm going to set up for the combo. Plus again, if anyone's asking why I'm not copying the Voice of Resurgence, it doesn't synergize with Saheeli, because when Saheeli's trigger ends, you exile the card, so it doesn't trigger the death trigger from Voice of Resurgence. Again, they're going with the Nazgul, so I'm going to block here. I'm going to keep Teferi healthy, because I can get a second activation here. But we now have a full combo ready to go. I'm going to sack the voice token. And with Teferi on the field, we actually have protection because they can't do anything. So we'll bounce the Torment of Scarabs to their hand. Play the Mox Opal, flicker the Teferi. We'll bounce this. So this would be normally infinite card draw. But because we have Saheeli on the field, it's infinite everything. So we can now cast the Mox, flicker the Kitten, gain everything else, start copying the Displacer Kittens here. So I'm actually now got Metalcraft on, so I can start just deploying the Opal, gaining more life. Not gaining more life, sorry, gaining more mana. Yes, with Teferi, this is more infinite card draw to set you up for stuff. But it also can just get you great synergy here. So now with this fully set up, we now have a situation where we can make infinite mana, make infinite Quicksilvers, and bounce their entire board. And they can't cast anything because we got Teferi's static protecting us here. So yeah, I'm probably gonna look at changing the deck around. Like, I do love Quicksilver, but the Mox Opal does make it a little awkward. And our opponent finally concedes after seeing that this is truly infinite, and because we're taking all different game actions, the timer's not coming up. I bring in Invasion of Asgul, which is something I should have probably had in the main deck because it's really dang good. But yes, if anyone remembers the previous version of Saheeli that I'm talking about, it was the initial 4-color Saheeli, Eldritch Evolution Saheeli, where the deck focused more on just creatures with value, and Saheeli and the combo was a kind of secondary finisher. Kind of like what we've been doing in Explorer and Pioneer, where we've been playing Amelia and Wildgrowth Walker as a secondary combo. But yes, I did go hard for the return of Saheeli Cat because Saheeli is actually one of my favourite Planeswalkers. I just generally love her design. I think the Artificer Indian design was really sick, and I wish they did more with Kaladesh. And I'm really sad she's one of the Despoiled Planeswalkers. I get hilariously done here because I choose to use my Edict to just get on the field, and then my opponent drops an Invisible Stalker. They play an Invasion of Kamigawa here, which I've never seen, so I was just checking what it turns into. It turns into a creature that if they hit us, we can get some damage, so we'll just start cycling lands here. We'll throw out a Voice of Resurgence while we're on, play our final colour, so we've got blue, all 5 colours are covered. They go for a murder here, makes us a voice token. They have no other creatures. Right, so we're going to shock, and then we're going to play a Teferi here. That's because I thought Teferi was free, because I'm a fool. So, funny thing I just realized here. Teferi doesn't bounce battles, because battles didn't exist when he was originally done. And they didn't want to put non-land permanents, because obviously that would make a silly combo with other Teferi stuff. So, we're going to use Molten Collapse here, kill the Nazgul. Play the Invasion of Asgul, trigger, force him to sack the Wall of Omens. Plus Teferi here, play a land, and then we'll just, we'll attack for 1 here on our battle, because I want to be able to flip the battle for no reason. They drew another Nazgul. Their ring is up to 2 now, and they flipped their invasion of Kamigawa. But we have a Helix to deal with that. I am worried about the Nazgul getting out of power here, but we're just gonna, yep, we find a Niv off the top, so that's perfect. Pass back. Opponent goes in, attacks the Teferi here. I think they want to keep it enough so that they're trying to keep it regulated that if I down tick Teferi, he will die. But they do find an E to extinction, so Teferi's gone. We'll play a second Niv here.
Reload!
Now, for those of you wondering, I went down on the combo because this is usually how I used to play the old Saheeli deck in the sideboarding. I would pull out most of the combo because most of the time opponents would sideboard and hold removal for the combo and then not be prepared to deal with what they had to deal with here. It's like the old Splinter Twin effect. If you were played against Splinter Twin turn 1, you would famously hold up interaction on turn 3, and this is the other synergy with Saheeli.
Reload!
He's there to reload us, get more action. Nice. We'll swing in here, get down to 6. Now, opponent should use the Invisible Stalker here to attack out Saheeli and kill her, which is totally fine. Saheeli is gone, they get another Nazgul. They fully power up their ring from Nazguls, which is really sick. But I'm just going to Molten Collapse, kill it now. Lightning Helix, kill their Horde Robber. Activate Deathrite to remove one of their spells, and at this point they've realised they can't come back from this. So yeah, it was good showing there for the deck. One more here to show us getting thoroughly ruffle stomped. So this is ironically one of the funnier matchups here. We ended up against a Gates deck. And you might think, well, surely that's not that bad of a combo. Yeah, Titan Gates is a real deck. And this, funnily enough, was the game that made me convinced to actually remake the deck, because I could not commit any kind of clock on the board or any kind of effects to slow him down. And funnily enough, I was this many years old when I learnt that Slaughter Games is a non-land target. Why is that relevant? Well, because Unmoored Ego lets you target lands. And I know that for a fact because I've sniped Tron players before and took out their final Tron piece before they've got it. But yeah, Spelunking really powers up this deck, and with the Titans in Historic, it's basically just game. They have, you see here, they get another maze and they just pass down. Get 2 mazes ends here. We're not going to beat this. And with Spelunking having the lands untapped, it's just game over. So I bring in Slaughter Games thinking that this can answer the threat, but unfortunately it doesn't. So this was more to just show what I'm working on Historic. I am going to have more content, and I will have a full deck tech as it goes for the final when I come back to Historic. I'm going to probably do this bi-weekly content. I'm going to do a little bit of Timeless, a little bit of Historic, a little bit of other formats. But well, it'll just depend on the meta, really. We'll play it by ear. So enjoy watching this deck get stomped. But yes, if you have a list for this deck, let me know. I'd love to see them.